Thank you, Sudarshanji. I would like to thank IPA through the president present here, Mr. Satish Reddy, all members who are present here, for this opportunity to join you all in recognizing the contribution made by the members of the Indian Pharmaceuticals Alliance under CSR. It makes me very happy to learn that the members of IPA have spent approximately, am I allowed to say the amount or it is?
Yes, you can say, madam. Yes.
So approximately 400 crores, largely in healthcare and education, uh, touching upon the lives of 15 million people in over 24 jurisdictions in the country. So this was in 2018, and I think the benefit flow to a very diverse geography, widespread population is certainly an achievement to be celebrated, and I'm happy to be part of that. We know that philanthropy, of course, has always existed worldwide in one form or the other, the guilds of the medieval times. But in the past 2 decades, it has taken a more strategic shape. I think the World Business Council for Sustainable Development has also highlighted ethical behavior and benefits to both local community as well as society at large. So today, I think companies that focus on creating shared value, they have global respect, irrespective of their balance sheet or their market value. And purpose-driven businesses are benchmarks for long-term success and intergenerational growth. So in India also, as you mentioned, Dr. Satishji, the CSR landscape has evolved, has got more organized, more structured. There is an effort to optimize the use of this considerable strength of CSR in an impactful manner. So some years back, our Honorable Prime Minister gave a call to prioritize CSR contribution in the areas of sanitation and cleanliness through the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. And it made a huge change in terms of not only sanitation, but also public health and more importantly, I think, behavioral change because of the credibility that companies could bring to their local communities in this subject. So alignment with the national priorities, it offers an opportunity, I think, not only to IPA, but to industry at large to synergize the use of public and private resources to tackle issues that impact society, introduce innovative efficient local solutions for global problems. So you mentioned the sustainable goal, Satishji. So I am very happy that in that context and also our own Jal Jeevan mission, companies have shown commitment to ensuring environmental sustainability. That is sometimes a sore point with this particular sector, and also practicing different forms of water conservation and treatment. So this is, I think, already work going in the right direction, aligned with national and global priorities. To all members of IPA, I must say this has been a very unusual year. It's drawing to a close. We do not know what the next year brings for us, but policy and practice have both been dominated by the pandemic. So the Ministry of Corporate Affairs also, very early on in the onset of the pandemic in India, in March 2020, had clarified that spending of CSR funds on COVID-19 will be considered as eligible CSR activity for this year. And the pharmaceutical industry responded very generously by contributing to preventive health care, sanitation, support to temporary and casual workers, providing quarantine facilities, donating ventilators, PPEs, and medicines. So even the small companies, which had probably less spend on CSR, have achieved a lot with this focused effort. And I think this is a matter for both individual and collective satisfaction for IPA and their members. I would just like to take this opportunity to note that not just by prioritizing CSR spending with the needs of the COVID pandemic, but the pharma industry in the last 7 to 8 months also approached business activities with complete attention to societal and national needs at this unprecedented time. I must recognize the contribution made by the Indian pharmaceutical industry, particularly IPA member companies, in working closely with the department with my predecessor, Dr. Vaghela, with the empowered groups to ensure uninterrupted supply, you mentioned this, and availability of affordable and quality medicines. So despite the most unfavorable conditions, manufacturing plants were up and running, supply chains were maintained so that we could fulfill the healthcare needs of people in India. And in fact, in over 120 countries across the world. And all this was done with complete safety measures in place for all those who were engaged in the manufacturing, transportation activities in the pharma sector. So we saw the industry at its collaborative best during this phase. Often it is, difficult times that reveal the strength, the real fundamental strength of an organization or an alliance. And I think we saw the IPA come out with very good outcomes. Now, government has also, I think, responded to the stellar performance and the commitment shown by the pharmaceutical sectors with, again, a historic support of close to $4 billion, about 28,000 crore rupees over the next 5 years. This is spread over production-linked incentives and support for setting up a bulk drug and medical devices park. This is expected to encourage growth, investment, production, sales, and greater exports. That is the overall objective. And in my initial conversation over the last 2 months or so with industry, it's very apparent to me that regulatory and policy risks loom larger in your mind than market and financial risks. And therefore, personally, I intend to prioritize work on regulatory reform to the extent that I can get some things done, and policy issues over the coming months. And I do hope that IPA will continue to provide valuable inputs, which will serve not only the industry, but the larger national interest. Coming to a slightly philosophical mode, I would say that the pandemic has had many lessons for each of us personally and for mankind as a whole. You must have seen this, in your own reflections, your introspection. Priorities, recepts, and problem definition have changed quite dramatically for families, for organizations, whether they are governments or businesses, and for nations. Today's event must give us pause to examine these changes, to examine why CSR must be a separate function, why we cannot embed quality of life and societal value as an integral part of all that we do as organizations, whether we are public, like the government, or private sector, like individual companies. From my own experience, I spent close to, I think, about 10 years in the industrial south of Gujarat. I know that business leaders, whatever may be their wealth, however large and powerful their businesses may be, find the most joy and meaning when they can touch the life of a fellow Indian to alleviate pain, provide opportunity, or fulfill untapped human potential of their fellow human beings. Now, the wisdom of the Mahatma still holds good in the 21st century for each one of us. However, we may have, moved ahead in terms of wealth or capacity or stature. The tears of the poor and the smiles of children remain the most powerful motivators, not only wealth creation. So this pandemic has perhaps demonstrated that such motivation need not be limited to only CSR activity, but the whole industry can be built on this principle or this motivation. Let me note that, of course, each company would have its own CSR policy and programs, but there are two opportunities that I see here, and I'm so happy to also hear it from IPA President and from Sudarshan ji. One is for the pharmaceutical sector to build a common CSR brand identity. And the second is to find strategic match of industry strengths with the needs generated in society by this new normal, which is the post-COVID world. So I do hope that IPA, with its talented leadership, will take on this challenge, and you will be able to forge a new path which will focus not only on how much you can spend, but what kind of large scale impact and outcomes you can achieve. I also want to express my gratitude to all the on ground workforce of all your companies that have been associated with your CSR activities, the social enterprises, the local community leaders. And I feel fortunate to be, in fact, Satish ji, I feel fortunate to be associated with a sector that is guided by public interest and individuals that are driven by professionalism. And I hope that this will encourage action that is progressive with, of course, active industry cooperation on many other fronts. So we have a lot of work ahead of us. But I do believe that our common goal is affordable and quality healthcare for all. And it's my pleasure to be with you on an occasion where you are celebrating something that is dear to each one of you, to your hearts. And as you said, your father was, Satiji, your father was, he thought about this when he was asked by a shareholder. We have a large number of stakeholders. But I think now no longer do your industries and leaders of your stature, I see many of our industry leaders here, you're no longer dependent on external stimulus to be able to do good work, whether it is in CSR or in the professional sphere. There is an internal hierarchy that operates, and you are at the level of self-actualization as an industry and as individuals. And I do hope that this will translate into very good outcomes, both in the CSR sphere and also overall in our national goals. So thank you very much for making me a part of today's event. It is a celebratory event. It is a conclusion of good work done by thousands of people. So my salutations and congratulations to each one of you. Thank you. Thank you, Satish ji. Thank you, Sudarshan.